There is no musical instrument as large as a pipe organ.
There is no other instrument where you can have one person make so much music.
One player has control over such variety of sound. I think in that way it is the king of instruments.
When I was very young, my mother would know what kind of mood I was in when I came home and how I treated the piano. And if I was in a bad mood, she'd know it just by the way I was playing.
We have an organ that is the largest pipe organ in Canada. It has over 8,200 pipes, but I just begged my parents to let me take organ lessons. In high school, I was the assistant organist at my little church, and that just thrilled me. That's actually one thing that I thought when I first heard the organ, that I could hear angels singing. And that's one thing that made me want to become an organist.
When I was 9, I became a choir boy at the cathedral in Birmingham in the UK, and completely fell in love with the sound, and was always told off for turning around and looking at the organist, hoping that he would pull out the pedal trombone stop at the end of the hymn, so I'd get that great sound.
The organ has an effect on people. It can be quite a stirring effect, you know. It can stir one's emotions, and of course the impressive feel of an organ at full tilt, you know, is like the mighty roar.
We have a lot of sounds that replicate the sounds of instruments of the orchestra. We have a string sound. It sounds like a violin. And then if I add something called the celeste, it's tuned just slightly sharp, and you can hear the vibrations just beating against each other. So it has a bit of an undulating sound. And I guess that's to imply that violinists don't always play in tune with each other. We also have flute. And then we have reeds, or some, like the brass instruments of an orchestra. We have the bassoon. One of my favorites, which is the French horn. An oboe. English horn. And you can hear, even between those two, which are resemble each other greatly, there's a different color.
This is a flue pipe. It has a tuning sleeve, an aluminum tuning sleeve, which adjusts the pitch of it, and that's how they're tuned. And this is the mouth of the pipe, and it has an upper lip and a lower lip. It's very human, really. And so you blow into it. So another flue pipe is made of wood. It has a stopper on which changes the pitch. You can tune it there, and it's a different quality altogether.
You can have kind of like a dialogue between one keyboard and another. It is complex, it is multitasking. Your brain has to be working all the time. You can't just fall into, Never Never Land.
I think it's a little bit like driving a car in some ways. I mean, your mind is thinking in two different ways. First of all, you're thinking about the accelerator and the steering wheel and what to do with all the controls, so you're therefore thinking about 1 second in advance. And kind of anticipating what might be coming around the corner.
One time, people just improvised on it and just played what the Spirit moved them to play. Some of them became extremely talented at it, where they compose a whole symphony.
I enjoy just improvising and being completely free, being completely liberated from any theme and just exploring colour in a way and texture. And an organ like here at St James, I mean, there's a huge amount of colour. It's a bit like a great kitchen with all these ingredients, and it's a lot of fun just putting them all together in different orders. But I think improvising is really part of the way that your mind is constructed. It's a sort of osmosis with a new instrument that it's a sort of mixture of listening to the instrument and seeing what it has to say to you, but also definitely putting in your own personality to make the instrument do what you want to do.
And so I just got fascinated with the sound of the instrument, and particularly with the music of Bach and his forerunners. When you listen to a Bach fugue, you got this clarity of all the voices coming in, and there was this mathematical relationship between the music and the sound. I'm going to probably play the most popular, well-known piece of organ music in the repertoire, and that's the Toccata and Fugue in D minor by J.S. Bach. Bach's music is floating around up there in space somewhere. To say this was the finest thing we had in our civilization.
Music is vibrations in the air, and it goes into our ears, in our brain, and inside, deep inside, people feel that they're joining in the mighty chorus of the ages.
I was a very young lad, and I could feel the earth shake. It just envelops you. It just brings you to a different place.
When I have those spiritual moments, I usually come in at night, and I like to make up my own music or improvise. And that's what I get inspired, and the lights are off.
From the very delicate sounds to the very clear sounds to the very rich orchestral sounds, music takes on where words leave off.